What's up, everyone? Welcome to the June 21st edition of DraftKings Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, use the code AWESOMO when you sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. You'll receive one free month of Stokastic plus Platinum. You'll also receive a 100% first deposit bonus up to $100 on that deposit. We have a 13-game MLB slate tonight. Doesn't look like any weather issues, so that's nice. And as usual, we're going to take a look at three of the top tournament stacks and three of the top tournament pitchers using the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool on the Stokastic.com website. Starting with the top stacks, number 3, the Atlanta Braves taking on Anthony DeSclafani in his return from the injured list. DeSclafani is a decent pitcher, but Atlanta does have a lot of power in their lineup. They're only projected for 4% ownership with a 6% chance of being the top scoring stack, only a 1% chance of being the top value stack, a 117 WRC plus, and a 205 ISO on their active roster this season. So far this season, DeSclafani has a 3.93 xFIP and has struck out 20.6% of hitters. But there's always a little bit of added volatility when you have a pitcher returning from the injured list, and the lack of ownership going to the Braves certainly makes them an appealing option in tournaments. Number 2, the Minnesota Twins, 6% projected ownership, 7% chance of being the top scoring stack, 2% chance of being the top value stack, taking on Aaron Savali tonight. Savali has struck out 20.8% of hitters with a 4.57 xFIP so far this season. Not a bad matchup at all for the Twins. They have a 116 WRC plus and a 163 ISO on their active roster. Byron Buxton in particular looks excellent. Alex Kirilloff, assuming he's going to be in the lineup, looks like a very strong value from the Twins as well. And number 1, the Toronto Blue Jays, 4% projected ownership, 7% chance of being the top scoring stack, 1% chance of being the top value stack. Difficult matchup tonight against Dylan Cease, but the lack of ownership is certainly appealing when you talk about a team that is as good offensively as the Blue Jays are. They have a 112 WRC plus and a 167 ISO on their active roster. Cease has struggled a bit recently, but overall this year he's been very good with a 32.9% strikeout percentage and 3.06 xFIP. He is also projected for about 15% ownership, so you get the added benefit of about 15% of the field losing if the Blue Jays do well and you have them at low ownership. Now, looking at the top 3 tournament pitchers, number 3, Kyle Gibson taking on the Texas Rangers tonight in Texas. Gibson is projected for 6% ownership. He has an 8% chance of being a top 2 pitcher, 6% chance of being a top 2 value pitcher. He's $8,100. He has struck out 21% of hitters with a 3.54 xFIP so far this season. The Rangers have been about league average offensively with a 101 WRC plus. They do have a 23% strikeout percentage on their active roster. Number 2, Kevin Gossman taking on the Chicago White Sox, who are suddenly hitting very well. They had a slow start to the season, but they're starting to hit much better now. They're up to a 109 WRC plus and only a 19.3% strikeout percentage on their active roster. Gossman has also been struggling recently, both in terms of his results, but also in terms of strikeouts. So it's possible he's tipping pitches a little bit, or it could just be random small sample size issue, which would make him look even better here if there's not actually an underlying issue. But overall this season, Gossman has a 26.1% strikeout percentage and a 2.83 xFIP. He's only projected for 9% ownership with a 13% chance of being a top 2 pitcher. And number 1, Dylan Cease in that difficult matchup against the Toronto Blue Jays. This is just a situation where you have a very good Toronto offense, you have a very good pitcher in Cease, and ownership isn't projected to be high enough on either side. Cease projected for 15% ownership with a 16% chance of being a top 2 pitcher at $9,800. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stacks: number 3, the Atlanta Braves; number 2, the Minnesota Twins; number 1, the Toronto Blue Jays. The top 3 tournament pitchers: number 3, Kyle Gibson; number 2, Kevin Gossman; and number 1, Dylan Cease.